Thank y'all for being here. We'll talk about the game from this past Saturday against Lamar, and then take a look at Northwestern coming up. I think this past week, I told the guys after the game, I think we kind of turned a corner. We saw we really had some adversity early in the game in the first half, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Uh, I didn't feel like we were ready. I didn't feel like we were mentally into it early on in the game. We had some breakdowns, which lent itself to Lamar having some big plays, some explosive plays, and those took place in the first half, run and pass. We had people out of position. Lamar's unique. They're a good football team, and they're a triple option football team. So defensively, you got to play an assignment type defense, and guys have to be locked in. You got to make sure your leverage is in the correct spot, your eyes in the right spot, your technique, alignment, all those things you have to be dead on based on what they give you. They don't give you a lot of stuff, but they're really good at what they do. And their quarterback is dynamic we talked about him. Uh, but we had guys, bad eyes, bad technique, bad alignment, and then missed assignments. And that gave itself to a lot of points being scored in the first half. So giving up 24 points in the first half was really disappointing for us defensively, but it was correctable. And it was correctable from the standpoint of just getting the players locked in again. And we went in at halftime and we did that. We talked to them about just doing your assignment. And it wasn't something that you had to be spectacular at. You just had to do what you're supposed to do. And we did that for the most part in the second half. We did have a couple of breakdowns, and they resulted in big plays. So this was a huge game for us, especially defensively, to be able to look at some things from getting ready and getting prepared and getting locked in from the mental aspect of the game. The physical part of the game, we were fine. It was a mental aspect that caused us the issues in first and second half. But I thought the second half, we played so much better in the third and the fourth quarter, taking care of our assignments from that standpoint. Offensively, I thought we played well throughout the game. I think this is probably, for me, Chase and Virgil's best game since I've been here. I thought he took care of the football. He was locked in. He did a great job on the checks. In fact, one of the checks he had, they were bringing all out blitz on third down. He checked it, hit Austin in the flat. Austin made a guy miss, and we ended up with a touchdown. The deep ball to Austin was also a heck of a throw for him as far as the read and everything else. Really a good route. But he had some checks in the run and the pass game and did an excellent job of that, especially in protection. Same thing there. Changing some stuff up at the line of scrimmage. He's starting to get more leeway, and we felt like it's time for him to grow. And that's what's happening right now. I think Coach Stevens has done a good job getting him prepared and putting him in some situations where if he sees certain looks, he has the liberty to go ahead and take advantage of them. But he's got to recognize them, and he's doing that. So I think for him, I think that was as good a game that I've seen since I've been here, he and I together. I thought our receivers really played well. I think those guys stepped up to the plate. We lost Jawan after the first half. Ed McGee stepped in and had a couple of catches. Lorenzo Nunez jumped in the game, had a couple of catches. So we did some things. CJ and Austin, they played well. They went up and got some 50-50 balls, especially CJ. So we did some things in the pass game because of our receivers. And then, you always got Andy. Sometimes he's overlooked. And, J.J. Connor catching 2 touchdown passes the other night, just putting himself in the right position, been working his tail off. And now he's getting a chance to play and play well. So I think that group of guys did an excellent job for us. Special teams wise, we had a block punt. That was good to see. Lorenzo got through. Game plan, we thought that was something we could take advantage of. He did a good job studying that, and he did that, and came through and blocked the punt. 6 for 6 on extra points by Bryce, plus a field goal attempt, and he made that one right there at the end of the game to ice it. In fact, we tried to take a delay of game penalty there. They declined it just to give him a better angle, and he kind of winked and said, "Don't worry about it," which made me nervous that he would even do that, but he did it. And he kicked it right through the middle. So I thought this was his best game as far as kicking balls between the uprights. I thought that was awesome for him. So, the Lamar game was for us to be able to come out, opening game in conference, playing it at home, great atmosphere here. I thought the student section did a super job. They were loud. You can hear them on the other side of the field. Our home side, we had generally packed. Had a great crowd here, so we had an advantage. We had Strawberry Stadium give us an advantage, and that is huge for us. to be able to come here and play in front of that crowd. It affects the other team. We affected Lamar. They got affected by our home field advantage. So that's a plus for us. We got to just continue that, continue to get the people hamming out here. And it's a great atmosphere. Moving forward to Northwestern a little bit, they're coming off a HBU loss, LSU loss. They've had a tough schedule up until this point. They're 0-4 right now. I know their offense is extremely dangerous. They basically the same thing they were doing last year. They throw it around a bunch. Their quarterback, Epler, is I think he's a quality player. He's a very good player in this league. He's got good arm strength, throws the ball to the flat, takes shots down the field. Their go-to guy would be Quan Shorts, the receiver that transferred in from Texas Tech. He's got good speed, really good with the ball in his hands, so he's a weapon. I think their running back's got good speed, similar to the guy we saw this past week against Lamar, similar to that guy. So their team, I think, is trying to find their way as to who they are, but I know it's a must-win for them. It's a home game for them. They've been on the road the last few weeks, so they're coming home. They got us coming to town, so we expect their best, and we're going to get it. They're a good football team, and they're going to play us well. They've always played us well, and so we're looking forward to going up there to play them on the road. And, again, get as many of our guys as we can in the stands. Many of our Southeastern fans that can make it up there, we'd love to have you up there because it helps our people, it helps our team to see you in the stands each and every Saturday night. So with that, I'll take the questions, and then we can move forward.
Would you talk a little bit about Josh Carr's game? It seemed like you have guys on defense that pop up every week.
Yeah, I think what Josh did, it's kind of a neat story. This was the first game that his mom has seen him play. She wasn't able to get any games last year. She wasn't able to come to Jacksonville State game, so she was able to come. This is the first game she's seen him play here at Strawberry Stadium. So I'm going to make sure she's here at every game to be at Strawberry Stadium because he really did. He played well, played with a lot of energy. We probably played him too many snaps. He played a lot of snaps, so it's probably a few snaps too many because he did get gassed a couple of times, but he played hard. Josh has really grown. He's grown, but physically he's getting bigger and stronger, and he was able to use that the other night. So between tackles for losses and sacks, he was disruptive on their side of the line of scrimmage. That's what we got this year. I think that's what Coach Monica has really preached to those guys about getting up the field and playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage instead of just flowing. We're attacking more defensively. I think we're doing a much better job with our hands and playing technique, but being more aggressive and attacking the line of scrimmage and playing on their side instead of playing on our side or at the line. So I think that's why you're seeing us penetrating more, getting more guys up the field. But it plays in our game more from a speed standpoint. We're more athletic. We want to run, and we want to chase people down. So I think that helps Josh. I think it helps Isaac on the other side. And then our interior guys, same thing.
You guys get 10 different receivers on Saturday. That's including Pat Allen, too. But
Yeah, that wasn't planned in the playbook, Rob.
I'm just saying.
I know.
He's on the stat sheet.
He is. Pat's got a reception now, so.
What does that kind of tell you about where you guys are offensively in terms of Chasen looking off and saying, okay, I can get it to anybody I want out here and not have to worry about it?
Yeah, I think when you look at us and you can watch us practice and see it, we don't necessarily design plays for certain guys. We design plays and make sure that we got the right guys in the game, but it's not take this guy out and put another guy in specifically to throw him that route. I think we got some guys in position for the plays that we run, and we make sure those guys are in there for that. But the flexibility that we have because of the depth that we have at the wide receiver position gives us that opportunity. No matter who's in there, we're going to take advantage of it. So late in the example was late in the fourth quarter, Ed McGee's in the game. He's a freshman, hadn't done much, and it's a big third down call, and we hit him with it, threw the ball to him. So it wasn't take that out, put somebody else in. Ed can do it. He does it out here in practice every day, and he's gonna get more and more comfortable. He's gonna make a lot of plays before he leaves Southeastern with his degree and everything else. But he was in the game the other night, and we didn't call the play, hoping that somebody else was in there. I just think it's a testament to what we're doing at practice each and every day. We're making everybody accountable, making everybody learn, and from an assignment standpoint. And then go work your butt off. And when you're in the game, make the play when it's your time to make the play. But I do think Chasen's got a lot of confidence in whoever's out there. He's not He's not one to come over and say, hey, don't put that guy in there. He's not working hard enough. Our guys are working hard enough. So he's got confidence in those guys, and there's a connection between them right now.
Ray, would you talk about the offensive line and how happy you are with them? I could see where in the fourth quarter they really took it to really needed to hold the ball and
Yeah, this was probably their worst game, to tell you the truth. They weren't as physical as we needed to be. We were much more physical against the good Ole Miss football team than we were this past week. But that fourth quarter, it was 7 minutes plus. We got the ball on the 10-yard line, and we got in there and said, let's finish the game on the field. Let's either go to the end zone or let's finish the game on the field, take it all the way down. And we talked about it on the headsets with Greg and said, let's burn as much clock as we can, but let's take this thing all the way down. So we got to do what we got to do. And we were able to run the football. Even when they knew we were running the football, we were able to run the football. That was the best our offensive line played the entire game. And they did a heck of a job. Now, don't minimize that. But that drive right there really told us a lot about who we were, to be able to stand up and say, we're ready to do it. We can get this done, and we can do it against a good football team that knows we're going to run the football. So we were able to run it. I think that's when you know you're pretty good, is when you're able to run it when the other team knows that you want to run it, and you're still able to do it and accomplish what you want to. And that's what we were able to do on that drive. So that got us all the way down to the 2-yard line. So that was an 88-yard drive. It took up about 6.5 minutes of the clock, and really iced the game up for us for the most part.
Coach, with all three of the games unfolding differently, with Jacksonville State, you guys jumped out early and had to stay on top of it. Ole Miss fell behind early, had to battle back, and then this one, first half, just constantly having to answer the other team. How does that help prepare you for the rest of the season?
Well, Blake, it's the same thing that we talked about from the beginning. If your culture in the locker room is good, things are going to ebb and flows are going to happen. And if your culture is good, they're going to overcome them. Your guys are going to continue to play. They're not going to get affected. I think momentum is such a difficult thing to gauge. It's always great when you say, we got great momentum, we can keep on going. But what happens when the other team has the momentum? How does your team respond to that? And I think that's where good teams, they could care less whether they have momentum or not. They're just going to go out and do their job. So when it's positive or negative, those things are going to happen. No matter what's taking place, your team's got to respond and play the next play. And when our defense wasn't playing well in the first half this past week, our offense really was. They were playing well. So they weren't looking down there saying, come on, man, you got to stop them because we're moving the ball and we can win. Nobody cares about that. Our job is to go out and score points. Let's go score points. Our job is to stop them. Let's stop them. So I think what you're seeing in all of these cases was not that we don't feed off of each other, but where our approach is becoming more professional from the standpoint of we have a job to do and we can't get affected by somebody else, whether they're doing their job well or not. Doesn't matter. Just like the punt that goes down to the 10-yard line in the fourth quarter with 7.5 minutes, nobody got mad at that we had to drive 90 yards. We just said our job is to go 90 yards. Let's go 90 yards. So I think when you look at not so much of what we've done to build on that, but to recognize what we've done to say this is really who we are and where we can go with this stuff. So I don't know if that answers what you're saying. It just, for me, it's really good as a coach to see your guys in different situations and respond the same way. Whether it be positive or negative, we're still able to respond the same way and play the game.
Look at Northwestern State, just looking at numbers, it looks like they were wanting to pass first.
Yeah, they're a pass-first football team. They're going to throw. Their quarterback is the guy. He threw for over 3,000 yards last year. I'm not sure. I think their offense led the conference in passing last season. So they're going to throw the football. They're going to throw it as much as they can. They're going to go up-tempo. They're no huddle. They're spread. They'll run the ball some, but that's not what they do. They're going to throw the football as much as they can and then go up-tempo and try to get us off balance. They'll sprint out. They'll drop back. It'll be quick game, screens, and then they'll take shots. Now, they lost Jazz Ferguson from last year, which is a huge loss for anybody, but they're still being productive in the pass game.
How does that affect you guys in preparation for that?
Yeah, well, you just know you got to make sure you got the right guys on the field. In pass rush, we got to go get him. We got to go affect him. And we got to make sure that we can get to him at times. He's going to get the ball out of his hands, but we got to continue to go. Sometimes we got to jump a route, make him hold it, and now we got a chance to get to him. But our alignment And then our open field tackling is where we got to do much better job. We did a poor job of tackling again this week in certain areas, just a few guys. We did a much better job defensively, but on special teams, we didn't do a good enough job. So tackling, they're going to complete balls. We got to tackle. We got to rally, tackle, and get to them. And then if they're going to throw it that much, we got to go ahead and pick. We got to get some turnovers. We got to pick some of them off. Obviously this game's big, and every game is from a turnover standpoint. But if they're going to throw it that many times, we got to get our hands on some of them.
You see any Anthony Scelfo influence in that quarterback play?
Yeah, I do. Oh, there's definitely his influences over there. We won't talk to each other this week. Normally we talk to each other a bunch during the course of the week. He'll talk to his mama, but I'll talk to his wife, find out how my grandbaby's doing, but I'm not going to talk to him. I'll talk to him after. I'll talk to him right before the game, and I'll talk to him after the game. But that's it. I'm not. It's a big game for us.
What do you see from Northwestern State on defense? What's making them better?
They're going in between a 4-down and a 3-down front right now, Rob. So against Houston Baptist, they played more 3-down stuff, similar to what Ole Miss was playing. So very similar to that. So I can see them. We're looking at what Ole Miss did against us well, and having them prepare for that. Preparing for that against them. So I can see them using some of that, but they also doing some 4-down stuff, and excuse me. And so we're having to prepare for both of those. So there could be a combination of both things in there from that standpoint. I think their front four is really good. They're active, they're athletic, and they got good size up front. So our challenge is to somehow get to the secondary, get to those back end guys.
Big thing now for you guys is to obviously you talk about it all the time. Is you got to go on the road and steal some. Here's your first chance.
Yeah, you have to in this conference, like we talked about. 68% of the games in this conference at home played at home are won by the home team. Well, if you're going to win this thing, you got to win on the road, and this is an opportunity for us. We got to be able to. We got to go in at Natchitoches this week, play well, take care of the football, and come out of there with a win. But the preparation that we do this week is going to put us in position to do that. But it's really important for us to be able to. We got to play well on the road, and we've only had one road game this year so far. We've had 2 at home, won both of those. Let's go on the road. We got to figure out who we are. We got to be able to win on the road if we want to get to reach the places we want to go to.
What is a Juwan status?
Don't know. In fact, I was just telling some of the other guys, the MRI is taking it. He's doing it this morning. Take a look at his foot. We just want to make sure there's no breaks or anything in it. We just want to make sure there's anything torn. So he was in a boot yesterday. That was a precautionary. He feels like he's okay, but we're checking everything out. So we're waiting to see. Probably by the time we're finished up here, they should be back over there, and I'll get a report.
Right
So,
on that.
you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure which one it is. He didn't play in the second half, but I think it's. I would make it up. I don't know. I really don't.
When you guys go against a defense that kind of changes things up, you guys have seen some of this stuff before. So what's the preparation like that, and you guys getting ready for that?
Yeah, what's good is that because they do what Ole Miss has done, we've been preparing for it. We're a 4-down team. Well, we practice against that all the time. So there's so much carryover from week to week. And, our preparation in camp was exactly that. We prepare for 3-down, for 4-down, things like that. And as you go through those things, you build up a library in your mind of how you do certain things. So you'll be able to go to the bench and make some changes in between series. We feel like that's going to happen this week. We'll have to prepare for both fronts. And then they bring a lot of different pressures. But Lamar brought a lot of stuff at us this week now. So they'll bring a lot of pressures at us. But it's stuff that I don't think it's anything new that we're going to see. We just might not have seen it enough. We'll be able to make the adjustments on the sidelines as we go. But this week, the preparation, we're going to have to split those 2 fronts in between to work on both of them.
You talk to the Hall of Fame football players?
Yeah, I did, right? It was so cool. Brian Bennett came by the office before the game, got a chance to catch up with him for about 30, 45 minutes. It was really good to see him, talk to him about his journey. We talked about, the championship flags, the last 2 up there, 13 and 14. We just put them up. Kimmel and them just put them up. And, just how he represented, that's kind of like, might as well put his picture on those flags, because of his time here and everything else. I told him that instead of Rumi the Lion, we should have Bennett's statue out there. And, he said, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. I like that. But and then talked to Simi. I didn't get a chance to meet Simi. I had a lot of family in town, but I got a chance to meet him right after out on the field. It was the first time I talked to him. So it was cool to talk to him. I got a chance to meet the other two Hall of Fame inductees as well. I just think that's such a – whenever you bring back the past to the present, our players are – our guys got a chance to see them. So all week long we had talked about Brian and Semi and their impact on the football program and then how it affects them and then their impact later on, maybe 10 years down the road. Some of our guys will be inducted into the Hall of Fame 5, 10, 15 years from now. And then how when you look at them, that team, that present team will be looking at you. So I think it's important for us to be able to relate to what's happened in the past, our guys right now, so they can appreciate what's come before them. Good? Awesome, man. Thank y'all, guys. Appreciate it.